Hello and welcome to the Encompass Podcast. Today I have the beautiful Paollà from Brazil joining us, and it is my great honor to welcome her on the podcast. She is this beautiful little mermaid essence about her and such a deep, rich soul, and I already am in such deep conversation with her about Tantra, about yoga, about Kabbalah, and about our travels throughout the world and the Sedona Bridge to Hawaii and the Sedona Bridge to Brazil, and all of these beautiful connections that we are building through this digital space. And Paollà is sharing more and more about her yoga practice and about what she offers. And Paollà, if you could share a little bit about what's going on in your day-to-day and what's going on in your world with your offerings.
So thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. So I'm a therapist and I'm a yoga instructor, and what I was saying before is that my work is a blend of different traditions and tools that I've studied and lived over the years. So I integrate during my practices, my body practices, the health coaching, Tantra, Kabbalah, and I put everything together with a strong focus in the Kundalini energy, the divine feminine, the embodiment. And as I was saying, it's not about only connecting techniques, it's about guiding people back to their inner vitality, spiritual truth, through consistent meaningful daily practices. So I lived in America for almost 15 years. Most of the time it was Washington, D.C., LA. And during this time, I was teaching hot yoga, especially at, Core Power.
Mm-hmm. We all love Core Power. We've all had a Core Power, I think.
And then when I decided to, after pandemic, to go back to Brazil, I just had this connection with Tantra, the heart chakra Tantra, where we really align our feminine energy, our Kundalini energy, connecting with our heart. So this is something that I've been doing, and I always work with the heart chakra, but I think now it's even more deep, this kind of work that I do. Like, how can you elevate your vital energy, that is our sexual energy, actually is the same thing, right? But use it in a different purpose, really using to nourish your soul, really to feel nourished, like to feel whole, feel all this wholeness in your heart with this powerful energy. And then I bring all the wisdom of Kabbalah, because I come from a Kabbalah background, that gives you like a deep spiritual map, like an inner calendar time, like understanding the energy, the purpose, not just astrology, but you take all these Asian portions of like Torah, this kind of Asian studies that we have, and how can you get all the symbology, all the symbols, and add that in your practices, during the daily basis.
Yeah, and it is having all of these tools at our fingertips, and like you said, bringing it all back into the heart. And for me, that's my wisdom center, and everyone has to look in and find what their wisdom center is. I think the heart is kind of this meeting place between heaven, like these upper chakras, and then earth, these lower chakras. It's like this is actually right in the middle. And yeah, if you could share, what are the practices that you, I think, like most actively or readily share?
So, just like explaining like exactly what I do, it's like I'm taking all these elements that you have, like for example, heart coherence meditation. That is something that we're seeing more, right? All the therapists, like well-known teachers, they teach a lot about how the heart coherence, this intelligence, can guide you as a map, right? Like where to go, what to do. So this is like my mission with my students. So how do I awaken that? So it's not just okay, now let's visualize something that makes you feel happy and you smile and feel all this, emotion in your heart, and then you breathe and it is expanding. It's beautiful. But like in the life that you're living now, most of my students, they're still in the different dimension. You know what I mean? I have to work an hour of spirituality. Okay, fine, bye. Now I'm leaving. Like, like it's different. So how can you get these people and really make them to disconnect from this dimension that they are, like the matrix, and really connect with the inner wisdom that is in our heart? So what do I do? Usually I start with the breath work. Like it's really funny because if you're gonna think about the names, some people, they work breath work and then tantra work and then I don't know, kundalini yoga, but the techniques are all the same for me. They're all the same. So I take that and then I help them with this fire breath, just to oxygen like your brain, and then you really, really like work that hard, like to get out from your head a little bit. And then I bring like a very vigorous vinyasa flow so they can really get disconnected from their mind. And then at the end, then I enter with these more subtle meditations where they really can connect, because then they're taking away all these pieces, these layers that are not part of them, right? And then when you do this in a hot yoga studio, it's even more powerful because then it's very hot and then your breathing is different, and then it feels like, how do you say in English? In Portuguese, you say temascal. The indigenous temascal, that it's like the shamanism, like, you know what I'm saying? The nature that the Indians, like the native people, they have like a cover that is very hot with the rocks.
Yeah, sweat lodge.
Yeah, we say in Portuguese temascal. I never thought about this word in English.
Yeah, but that's so powerful. And there's a wisdom to the krama, like a vinyasa krama, and that's the wisdom of progression, wise progression, and bringing people on that step-by-step journey. Because if you just jump right to the visualization, they're like, wait, I forgot I have a grocery list. Oh, wait, I forgot I have to pay my babysitter. Oh, wait, I forgot I have this bill to pay. It's like, no, that doesn't exist when we are in a oneness field. And it does exist at the same time, but putting our attention, into the practice, that is so powerful.
Yeah, and this is what I do usually, like most of my classes and also most of the retreats that I do. Then you have more time, to integrate all these things, and then we understand also the wisdom of everything that we learned as a health coach, how food it's also very important in this role, right? Because you can work, but if your body is dense with all the food that you eat, it's really hard to elevate your energy, to be subtle.
You speak to me in this world of Ayurveda. It's like food is the medicine, and it's, for me, that is the focal point of my retreat. I'm like, if I have the best meals, we could be in a tiny little dirt hole and in the ground, and we would just be eating so gourmet and getting so grounded that like we will reach higher realms just from that nourishment.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. So so basically this is what I do. I try to not, like to be, when I talk about Kabbalah, I take more the practices. So my life, it's kind of crazy, right? So I don't know, almost like 20 years ago, I converted to Judaism, and I was living in an Orthodox community. So I was really living by following the spirituality, like by fear. You know what I mean? I can make a mistake. I really have to follow the rules. And then I have all these questions like, okay, why am I doing this again? Like, what is the, what is behind it?
Background is the same way. It's like these religious sects that keep us in the rules and to fear a higher power and to, have a sin, which really is just missing the mark. It's like, okay, let's ask for forgiveness and try our best and totally be loving and compassionate about that. But where is that written? Like, where's compassion as being the number one, religion? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And then I started like, okay, why am I doing it? Okay, the wine in Shabbat, what is the meaning behind it? And then all the Kabbalah wisdom explains all these practices that the Judaism like do. You know what I mean? And then I was connecting more to the real like meaning behind all the practices. And then I try now, what I do now, it's like, how can I share this with people that are really like striving, like looking for like getting a real connection with spirituality, and do everything with purpose, which is connection. It's the connection with Tantra, right? You do everything in presence. Tantra, it's about presence. Everything you do what is the feminine energy? Feminine energy for me is just, slowing down, listen to your body, and no rush. Today actually was really funny because I was like, I wake up, like get up 5 a.m. I was talking to you before, like, okay, taking my dog out so I can get it by the studio like 10 to 7, start teaching at 7. And then my dog was doing I don't know, I was like 5 minutes late. Not late there at the studio, but 5 late from my control routine. When you try to control your routine, this is not a feminine energy. So even though like you're teaching this, you're, like we're trying to do that, but in the daily basis, sometimes it's really hard, to not be on the clock at the time. And then when I got there, the studio was like, no, wait, I'm all day long, like teaching my students to be present, like to really breathe, and I'm not doing this. And I was like, okay, today let's work in present. Paollà, okay, you like just stop, let's start again, and breathe. And then it's really funny how even for us that we work with this for so long, like I've been almost 15 years since I moved to America, doing I get everything there, the certifications, everything. And even now, after 15 years, it's still a struggle sometimes be in a different dimensions in the same time and really walk your talk, and I think it's so important to be honest and share with people that you're teaching, like your students, that you're a human and you're also in the path of transformation. Yeah. And sometimes it's easy to follow, sometimes you fail, and it's fine. You're human, and not just try to be the.
Yes, I am so human, and my biggest lesson right now is like getting some of this 3-dimensional stuff in line, like getting my credit back in a good place, and getting our health and wellness in the best place possible, and getting our foundation in a home that is gonna make us sheltered and thriving, and a great launching pad or springboard to explore the world from. But it's like, yeah, there's a spirituality about those things too. And I'm so interested in like the Kabbalah and how that has shaped, how you get to walk your walk. And for me, it was like the Vedic teachings that really gave me this entry point into connecting with, like you said, the slow living and expanding the awareness of noticing the effects of energies and the density of a chicken nugget versus the density of wild blueberries.
You're talking about the berries.
I love the berries.
I love the berries.
I love berries so much.
Yeah. So Kabbalah also say a lot of things about the energy, like how usually when you really crave eating something, the Kabbalah wisdom that the food is actually calling you. It's not that you having the desire. It says, like, for example, if you really want to eat, like, I don't know, you crave blueberries wants like to elevate, to the upper realm, and the food needs you to elevate them. So when you eat, it's not only getting vitality from the fruit, but you're elevating the energy of the fruit. So it changes these things of Kabbalah that I love when they teach. Like, okay, why am I craving cacao? How do you say that? Cacao ceremony. Like, why am I? Oh, my heart. Okay, it wants to be elevated. So it's an exchange of giving, receiving. You're sharing and you're receiving. So every time that you're sharing things, it's already receiving, and not with the thought of, okay, I want to receive, so I'm going to share. No, I really want to share, and the sharing is already receiving. So you see another human in a different perspective. Like, okay, if I'm mirroring something, I'm not the victim here. Now, like, change the aspect of the Kabbalah, what they teach is so, okay, what I'm mirroring here, okay, if it's something abusive, okay, where am I abusing, or where my sense of worthiness are low? Like, when you have your sense of worthiness, it's very easy to set up boundaries and say, okay, you're here, but no, you're not entering, okay? Like, because it's the path of life, right? You're always gonna, like, if it's one of your tikkun, your soul correction, probably your entire life, it's something that's gonna come, but then you transform, and then you see it, and you already say, no, here you're not entering. I know you're here, but you know how behave in a proactive way. It's all about the proactive way and not a reactive way. Mm-hmm. So the basic of Kabbalah, it's pause. Pause, what a pleasure. Like, okay, what I'm seeing here. And pause, it's again the presence, right? It's the breathing. It's like, okay, sometimes you have to take 3 days.
Like, the radical responsibility is like, okay, the mirror is me saying, I'm you. And I'm angry, but it's not because of you. It's because of something that's already here.
Yeah.
Like, that's one. And then this person is actually here to elevate me. And how you said, like, the berry is becoming elevated by me eating it. I feel elevated by eating the berry. It's like, wait, no, we're both up-leveling. This is like 1 and 1 equals 3. Like, we are higher and better because we're together. And us working through whatever this anger is, this control issue is, it's like, this is part of the consumption that we needed to mulch, transform. The great Mother Earth is the best at doing this, of like composting our crap and saying, okay, we're gonna grow some beautiful flowers and more berries from this like issue that we have, that we are festering and burdening ourselves with. It's like, okay, let's just process that so much more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In a great way of consciousness.
Yeah. And it's about building a muscle in your brain, like to really practice to think that way, right? So it's not like overnight that, okay, now I'm a different person. And sometimes, and it's like, it's always like asking, how do I have to get out from my comfort zone here? Okay, if I'm a person that I'm struggling, really setting up boundaries and, like speaking up, like really for myself. So probably what I have to do is really to confront people, right? If I'm not confronting, and there's a way to confront in a very feminine way, like, then I love about the Hinduism, like Kali, the Kali goddess, that she comes like, okay, Kali's here now. And then I bring the Tantra part, like Kali meditation. What is Kali meditation? I'm going to be home now, and I'm going to take my espada. How do you say that? I forgot. And
the sword.
The sword, yeah. And then I'm going to get my sword. And I'm like, I'm going to put my anger out. It's not about suppressing the anger, right? It's not about that. That's why I connected, because sometimes Kabbalah say like, oh, if you're very angry, your soul disconnect from your body and you get, a different entity, like, like that you're doing stuff that is not you. That's why people like they kill each other and do crazy bad stuff. I understand that, but if it's a person that is for this person is really hard confronting, you have to work in an opposite level, opposite way. Like, okay, I can't suppress the anger, because if you suppress the anger, becomes a sadness, and then if you're too sad, God forbid, you get sick, you get cancer, you get something. You know what I mean? Like depression. No, put this anger out. So, I take my pillow, and then sometimes I'm living in an apartment. I take this and I'm doing, and just put the anger out. And then, okay, now let's confront in a proactive way. It's not about the person, it's about my person.
Yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, from that place of clarity, from your pause, from that point of, okay, I can clear the air enough from in my own vessel. And yeah, I mean, what are the words that you would say to confront someone, and how is your approach to kind of resolving something of this nature?
Well, and how can you use your heart chakra doing the confrontation, right? You put all your anger out, and then you speak up for yourself, but using your heart. That's why you're opening our heart chakra all the time. That's why you're building all this alignment with the heart coherence,
Yeah.
But you stand up for
be from a place of the heart. And for me, it's like, okay, even this conversation I had earlier with a property manager I have is like, okay, let's start with a place of gratitude. I'm so thankful for you showing up today and being a part of this vision, because it would not be possible without you. Starting there, and then saying, okay, I understand, like, we had a huge miscommunication earlier this week, and I'm sorry that this unfolded the way it did, and let's create a better solution going forward, and knowing that this issue had to arise in order for us to get to a better resolution, in order for us to up level again. It's like, this is that relationship, it's the symbiosis, and saying, like, what do you need to make this thing possible? It's like,
and I believe that it's like you doing that for yourself, not expecting that in the other side you're gonna get the response or the result that you expect. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you're going from a place of a heart, and the other person is not ready, is not listening. You know what I mean? And it's not about you. And then it's also about, like, when you think about rejection, right? Rejection is a protection. This is what Kabbalah says. So sometimes you come in a very, loving and intense way. Like Tantra opens your heart chakra. When you open your heart chakra, you're very intense. I believe most of people are very intense. When you love, you really love. Like, especially Brazilians, right? You hug and you have all the touching. And it's like, and if the other person is not ready, and it rejects the way you're saying, it's not about you. Because some people, for example, I have a friend that she was doing all these teaching trainings with me, working the sacred, like a feminine energy. And she just decided to be more young again, living in a more young mode, after trying to live in a more feminine way, and getting all these rejections or not the responses that she was expecting. So you don't do this in order to manipulate the world, like sometimes the world for a while it's not going to respond the way you expected. But I believe then comes Kabbalah wisdom again, say, okay, but it's about your soul journey, and sometimes you have to build up your vessel in order to receive the reality you want. So sometimes it's a test from the universe, to see if you're really doing from your heart.
Yeah. Oh, girl, I so hear that. It's like the rejection is the hardest thing, to be rejected from our tribe, to say, no, I don't love you. It's like, ouch, you know? And it's like, wait, no, that is the path. And also to just be so, like, having so much compassion for ourselves of like, wait, I need to love myself first. I need to love my maiden energy about me. I need to love my maternal energy about me. I need to love my wild ways about me. It's like,
Yeah.
let's honor all of the parts of us.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the universe is going to test us, and not test because the universe is bad. The universe wants to give you everything. Kabbalah in Hebrew means receive, right? When you go to Israel, like you say, Tavili Kabbalah, give me the receipt. It's a word that they use, you know, in their vocabulary. So Kabbalah, it's to receive. So we are here in this world to receive whatever you want to receive, but it takes time. It's not overnight, you know, and you need to really have this inner work and be patient to the divine time. It's divine time. I believe that when Kabbalah say that you have the free will, it's not a free will just to have what you like, or the kind of life you want, but the free will to decide how you're gonna behave in a reactive or proactive way towards the program that already exists. There's a program there. If you think about human design say there's a program, you know. Oh, what are you in human design, do you know?
A manifester, 2-4.
I'm a manifestor 5-1. Splenic. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy.
Splenic authority.
Splenic
You got
authority.
the gut instinct, girl.
Oh, I think you're the first American, the manifestor American that I meet. And I have a lot of students, manifestors, that are coming to my mentorship. It's really funny here.
Like attracts like.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is like, we're manifestors. We kind of have this natural way of creating things, but we need space, and we also need to let go of the ego and say, this is how it's supposed to be. This is the rigid steps, and I'm gonna spiritually manifest everything in my world. And it's like, wait, no, there's actually a greater orchestration happening here, and our worthiness is by just being on the path, and by meditating, and by listening, and by, you know, having that soft discernment with the Kali energy, and tuning into the heart center of saying, this is the right thing, this is not the right thing for me right now, and just navigating that, and having the patience with the feminine. We're not rushed, but we are on somewhat of a timeline to say, we're all here right now on this planet Earth at the same time for a reason, and to seize those moments that do come our way, and to make the yes be from that splenic place of the power of now, and also maybe knowing when it's like, okay, not right now, okay, let me get you an answer on this day in the future, and maybe it's a no then, or maybe it is a yes. So it's so powerful just to have that inner knowing.
Yeah. Well, talking to another manifestor, so now it's like we need another podcast just to talk about how we struggle with around so many generators. Like we live like generators for more than 20 years, then you find out that you're a manifestor and you have to live in a different way, like compared to the others. Like a resting cycle. What is like resting cycle for me? Wow. Like I'm learning. I'm still learning. I've been studying since 2020, I think, 2019, when I started studying human design, and I'm still like, how to say, like disconnecting, like from the generator part of me that does not exist, that I was living as generator for so long.
Yeah,
This conditioning.
that's part of this conditioning. The
conditioning.
societal norm is like, show up on a circadian cycle, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You show up on this time, and wait, actually, our feminine says we're on 28-day cycles, and I'm gonna have a 2-week work week, a 2-week, work cycle, and then a 2-week off cycle, or, whatever it is. It's like, that's honoring your own rhythms. And it's interesting, like I've been drawn to projectors the past 2 partners. It's like, wait, these people have a similar rhythm as me. Like, they need their downtime. I'm not in the generator world. Like, I think people can find their right balance, and generators and manifestors, I'm sure they can all get along and work together and even have really beautiful relationships. And it's like, it's right, just honoring what are the needs are. What are our needs?
Yeah.
As an individual.
No, yeah, of course we need like this connection with the other auras, right? Like, it's really funny, this past Friday I was with a reflector therapist, and wow, it's really funny. Reflectors, like, I don't know, she was seeing my soul. Like, she was looking at me, she was like screening, and then she was mirroring. I was like, oh, like, what is happening, And then she told me, generators, they really manifest it when they're next to you. Like, they're so lucky. Your generator's friend, they're so lucky because, and I was seeing this during my yoga practices, like many students that really become like friend, and we were hanging out, and then they were like, oh, I'm manifesting this, a car, this, material stuff. And I was thinking that it was the Kundalini activation that I was doing only. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, it's the Kundalini. It's the Kundalini.
It could be partly that, but it could be partly you giving them that clarity and that role to play, like that path to walk. Because that's kind of, I think, like part of the process of manifestation. And we are all the generator. We're all manifestors. We're all reflectors. Yeah. But it's like, which one can I most align and attune to, and in whatever timeline. But it's like, yeah, I think that's such a gift that you're able to give to your students. That's awesome.
Yeah. That we have, right? You also have this power, and it's amazing because that's why I say it's at the beginning of our conversation about the serve. Like, we really serve, like everything that you do. Like, when I'm setting up the intention during the yoga practices, I also work with a tantric massage, only with women. And then also when you're touching a body of a person, you're reprogramming a lot of like the DNA there with the sexual energy. You know what I mean?
That's so powerful.
It's very powerful, but it takes like, do we have time to speak about this also? I don't know.
I'm an Abhyanga girl. I actually offer Panchakarma and Abhyanga, the lymphatic Vedic oilation massage, and I'm so about it, and I so feel that, like, that is so powerful. And maybe that's another episode, but if you want to wrap up with anything else that you'd like to share about how to connect with you, or where people can find you, and what's going on, and how can people support you?
Well, so I am. You can find me on Instagram, Paollà, the same way that is written there. And there I share a lot of content about English and Portuguese, about my work, about Kabbalah, about Tantra, about the things that I do. And right now I'm in Brazil, right? So I'm having all the yoga classes, all the retreats here, but I'm planning to go to America this year in October. Probably gonna meet up or something. Let's see. Maybe
let's manifest that.
Yeah, let's manifest that. And and there it's as a manifester, I never know when I'm gonna just bring something up, like a retreats, immersions, but probably I'm gonna do something in America. And also I do all this mentorship, like consultations, online, these sessions of 50 minutes, and then I read the charts, like a Kabbalah, astrological Kabbalah chart, also the human design chart, and then I help with the right food, like help with the health coaching, and bring all this tantric meditation we can do online. Also, it's not something that you have to do in person. So it's in the consultation of everything that I was talking here is something that you can do online as well. And I am really appreciating your time. I'm so happy to be here. It was like really an honor. I'm so happy. And I hope to see you very soon, because I am sure that you're going to manifest something amazing with all this connection of Abhyanga massage and, you know, the Ayurveda that I love. And I really appreciate you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for being on the show, and wishing you so many blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Can we finish with Yam?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Take a deep breath in. Breathe in. Yam. From my heart to yours.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.